Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is another exciting video. This video is actually produced because of popular demand. A lot of people asked me to drop the breakdown of the EURJPY trades that I've been taking, especially in the last few weeks, and they were actually swing trades and some scalp trades in between. So this video I'm going to be breaking down the trades that I've been taking on EURJPY in the last maybe 1 month or 2 months, and I want you to pay attention because the video is highly packed and you will learn a lot from it. All right, so quickly, let's just get into it because it's going to be a little long ride. All right, just a quick reminder, just to let you all know that these are the steps or the things that you need to take note of in order for you to try as much as possible to make the odds of whatsoever trade you want to take in your favor. So I said note number one, whether you want to swing or scalp, always ensure that you carry out top-down analysis. This is very, very important. It makes you know the exact position that price is and where price is going with respect to that position and with respect to things formed around it. Second thing you want to take note of is that you highlight your higher time frame demand and supply. They are very, very important zones that you need to take note of. It allows you to swing. All right. Thirdly, have it at the back of your mind that liquidity validated zones. Liquidity validated zones. Number four, highs and lows of the Asian range are most times liquidity. Not 100% of the time, but most times they are liquidity. Number five, London and New York base is something that you want to take into recognition, right? Always ensure that you mark important London and New York base. Price uses them most of the time, or price use them most of the time. And number six, always ensure that you also take note of London and New York mitigation. That is, there's always London volume that pushes price during London, and there's always New York volume that pushes price during New York. So you want to find trade opportunity around that area. For someone like me, for my intraday, I wake up by 7:30 to trade London, and once I'm done catching my move, then I wait for 1 p.m. for New York. So seven, I said 2 important zones I trade for my flip zones and extremes. I've said that in a couple of my videos before. Then in all of the things that I've mentioned above, always remember that structure is king. No matter the knowledge of inducement you have, no matter the knowledge of divergence or whatsoever, just remember that structure is king. All right, and there is nothing listed from 1 to 7 that is 100% efficient. There are sometimes that they fail. So quickly, let's go into the chart and see what we have for EURJPY. All right, so very importantly, look at the current position of price of EURJPY before I started trading it long term. So what you want to do first of all is to come to a higher time frame to see the general structure of the market, right? So from what I can see on higher time frame, price is definitely in an uptrend. Can see that price is trending upward. Price is trending upward. Okay. So and you want to trade in line with the trend. All right, you want to trade in line with the trend. So generally, you can see I have my high, my low, my high, and price is currently moving downward, and we are just moving to the upside. But very importantly, I spotted something on the weekly that I was very, very interested in. Of course, price is already in an uptrend, and we need to check where price is going with respect to higher time frame. And I spotted the supply up here. So the supply up here, and I was like, okay, that is possibly where price is headed. That's a possibility of where price is headed on the weekly time frame. All right. So that simply means that for now I am buyers. So let me go down to my daily so you can see what I have for my daily. So for my daily, I need to take out important structure points. And from what you can see here, you can see that price is trending upward, high, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. So what we are having here is that price is retracing deeply into this trading range so that we can see how to probably trade higher to come and grab all this liquidity. So my structure points, important structure points, I have this low, right? we have this high, we have this low, we have this high. So this simply means that price is still in an upward trend. So that means we want to trade higher. All right. And when price is in an upward trend, take note that the low sustains the trend and price is already close to like the discount price here. So that means I'm expecting to get a buy or to find a buy around the area where price is approaching. But we'll go to more lower time frame and see possibilities of price reacting from there and giving us a good entry. Okay, so now of course, once I'm able to catch the buy I want to buy, that simply means that I am actually targeting this external liquidity. I am definitely targeting this external liquidity. All right, so price definitely will head for that external liquidity because we are still in an uptrend. We have not violated our trend. All right, so coming down to, let's check 4R. You know, you have to carry out proper top-down analysis. So just for my 4R, I have this zone right here, and I'll just be waiting for price to come down to that zone. Of course, liquidity validate zone. So I think I spotted this, and I knew that this was just liquidity for price to grab. And once price grabs this and gives reaction from here, definitely I want to trade, right? So I was anticipating the buy. Let me just fast forward to exactly what price did when price got there. So let's go to 15 minutes. So this is now my higher time frame demand, my daily demand. So I want to see what price will do when price gets there. All right, so price started playing, and so I want to start noticing price, mainly price mitigates that zone. Okay. So from what I can see, I think so all the areas below, sorry, all the areas below this liquidity point is where I'm interested in, like just below this low here. So the areas below this low is where I'm interested in. So I just want to see what price, the direction that price will give me once price gets to that area. So let's go down to our 15 minutes time frame, so that we can see what price actually did there. I think I want to reduce this a little. Let me go down to my I want to reduce this a little. All right, perfect. So going down to my 15 minutes time frame, let me see what I have. Of course, I already have this as my daily demand. I already have this as my daily demand. And of course, remember that this is actually the most discounted price in that trading range. So that simply means that what I can catch this buy now, I am definitely heading for the external liquidity. All right, that'll be my final target. So let me just see what price did when price got to that zone. Very important. All right, so start seeing what price started doing. All right, so price mitigated the zone right here. Price mitigated the zone right here. All right, so we want to check what price did after mitigating the zone. So price mitigated the zone right there. Take note, this is your daily demand. So I am very much interested in what happens around this area. All right, so we can see price engineer liquidity before the zone, tap into the liquidity, and of course price coming down to that area. We can see that price was actually in a downtrend. All right, lower high, lower low. So, and of course this was even a low or a high that I was even anticipating, that since we are already in our zone, any little intent that price gives me, I definitely want to trade, right? So we already have our zone right here. So let's see what price did. All right, so this right here is a break of structure. So this right here is a break of structure for me. So this is a BOS, or more or less like an intent, like price has mitigated my zone. And of course, I have that. So I'll set it times that number that I like taking trades from my flip zone and also my extreme. So that means I have two POIs. So this is my first POI right here, the last base that took out this high. All right, so the last base that took out this high. If we come like more into the lower time frame, we can see that when price traded downward, the price mitigated this and then broke structure. So, you know, you're around your POI, you want to take note of every single thing that goes on. So that was the break of structure, and this was my first zone that I decided to take this trade from. All right, so I had this, and I also had this as a POI just in case price decides to come to the extreme. I told you that I take my trades from two places, the flip zones or the flip zones or the extreme. So the flip zone is the immediate zone that occurs before a particular zone is taken out, especially when it comes to a valid area of interest. So this was my entry, and stop loss was just about 14 pips. And of course, definitely, if this goes well, I want to target as high as possible, or price might still go and what is it called, mitigate my extreme. But if this goes well, I want to target this external liquidity. If it goes well, I want to target this external liquidity, which is around, sorry about that. So the external liquidity from what I have here, that is price taking these three highs, is around 1,000 pips. Okay, so I already got the movement that I wanted on the lower time frame. And of course, I still have this in my mind, just in case price decides to come to the extreme. You don't want to take any chances. So let's see what price did. And price started trading upward. Of course, price mitigated there. All right, and price started trading upward. So price started trading upward. And of course, that is actually my zone, like that is my eventual take profit. But at the same time, since I already know the direction of price now, I know that we're actually bullish, and I just need to follow through with respect to what price is forming. Okay, so let's see what happens. All right, so immediately this was formed. I said liquidity always validates zone, so I was just looking forward to continuing my buys. So I immediately spotted that price reacted from this base right here. Price reacted from this base, although price mitigated it during Asian session. But when I woke up the next morning, I discovered that we had London took up from here. And of course, with respect to structure, London seemed to be validating this base that is below here, because I told you that liquidity validates a zone. So I was interested in giving it a buy just below this zone here. Excuse me. So this was somewhere I had also had an entry, and if price was going to mitigate that area, that means for my intraday, I just want to target just few pips. So that means for my intraday, I just want to target the high where price was coming from, and of course even further, right? So let's see what price is. This was just a 115 pips target, and price, right? Because I said I want to target the highest side that price get to. So let me see if price activated us. Okay, price actually still traded higher, but that was a zone I was looking out for to buy price. So, and of course, my target is going to be the high that price attained because of structure, high, low, higher, low, higher, high. So let's see what price did if price came back to that area. So when price started coming back, I just knew that we are meant to be in for a mitigation. So let's see. All right, so I think pricing get to that place on time, but that is actually a valid zone where I wanted to actually buy price. That's a valid zone. So whenever price comes back to that area, let me go to 1 hour to see if that can be fast forwarded. I don't want to take too much of our time. All right, so so you got to a point. I think price started coming there. All right, so price started coming to that area, but looking at where price even reacted from, this would have actually been a very nice area, because we had this low here that was taking out more like an external liquidity. So what was the flip zone? The last supply before price took out this demand. Okay, this was the flip zone, and that was exactly where price reacted from to start selling. Okay, and in fact, if you check that, you discover that this is a London base. This was from 8 o'clock on the dot. And where was it mitigated? It was mitigated during New York. This is 1300. So remember I told you about London and New York mitigation. All right, so this was a very nice sell. Okay, so I just want to talk about the buy side. There were lots of trade that I scalped here, lots of trade, but I'm just concerned about the swing trade. Okay, so this was the next valid point, because if you check my structure now, you check structure is covered that I have high, low, high, higher, low. This already storing liquidity valid, like higher, high. So the next time price will come to mitigate here, what high will I want to target for my intraday? Of course, I'm targeting this next high because we need to come and grab this guy's external liquidity. And we already have the idea from the daily that we are moving upward. Okay, so price started coming down. Of course, let me go down to 15 minutes. All right, so price started coming. So we got to a point where price came close to that area. Price came close to that area. Of course, I knew I was going to have a trade opportunity soon, right? And I think I even had a limit there because it was the last point that needed to be mitigated before price continues moving upward. So let's just see what price did. We're already close. Let me go to my 15 minutes and see exactly what happened there. And of course, price came there. So price mitigated my zone. Very nice. Even though this activated during Asian session, but it doesn't matter. I told you that in all of the reasons that I gave you to enter a trade, structure is still king. All right. Mind you, I told you that there are several other trades I took, but I'm just focused on the swing, right? So this was the next catch point of my trade. And of course, I was ready to ride this trade even to the final target. But with respect to intraday, I want to take profit around here since I still have my swing position, which is of over 241 pips. But ladies and gentlemen, I actually want to swing to my final target. So from where the initial buy started, of course, my final target is 1,000 pips. Then from this next structural point, we shouldn't go below this low. And of course, I definitely know that we are targeting this high with respect to structure. All right, so once this high is taken out, that means I want to look for more buys. Now, what is giving me confidence that price will just go in my direction is because of what I've seen on the weekly. On the weekly, I know that we are heading for this high. The only time I can want to look for sell is when price takes out this external liquidity, that we have here. And of course, so let's see what price did. I'm definitely targeting this high here, so I don't want to check any other little trades that I took. So let's just see what price did. Of course, started moving upward, and we hit our first. Price was pretty much slow, but finally we hit our target right there. We hit our target right there. So I won't explain every other trade that went on here. I'm just focusing on the swing. So this was a very nice milestone. So the fact that we took out this high simply means that we are going higher, right? Simply means that we are going higher. And for what we can see, price is even moving sideways. That simply means that we want to expand. Like this is more like a consolidation, even though we have started the swing already. All right. So because of my higher time frame breakdown, I already know that I am heading higher. Okay, so that was a very nice target met there. From this point to this area is a good point to take profit, 335 pips. So price took out this external liquidity. Let's see what price did around that area and see possible trades that we took as well. So let me go down to my 15 minutes. I think I spotted something very nice. Spotted something very nice there. Okay. All right, so I spotted something very, very nice on my 15 minutes. It's just all about what price will engineer towards a particular area. So I saw that we had the last base. We had a base here just before price took out liquidity. We had a base just before price took out this high, right? So that is more or less like a flip zone to me. That was immediate demand that took out the supply or the weak high. And now the reason why I'm giving it attention is actually because liquidity is being built close to it. So I told you that take note that liquidity validates zones. So this is liquidity here and it validates that zone for me. Some people might actually want to come and maybe consider this other block to take price from. But if you don't understand the concept of liquidity or how liquidity functions, if you're not used to how liquidity is built in the chart, of course, I'm not going to go too deep in whatever it is I'm saying. So I'm just like trying to let you know that this zone has become valid because of the liquidity built around there. So, and I was hoping to actually buy price from there whenever price gets to that area. So this was about like 14 pips stop loss. So let's see what price did eventually from here. And of course, whatever high I want to target might be like the final target, or for just intraday, I may just target the high that price attained after clearing this external liquidity before coming down. So let's see what price did if price truly activated their area. And this was also very nice. Price came, although took out this high, took out this low rather. But of course, this is Asian low. And I've told you that Asian low most times are liquidity to be grabbed. And of course, I would have been asleep by this time. This is already 3:30. So I needed to see what will happen during London. So it's more or less like a trade that is building up during London because we'll definitely have London mitigation, very important. So let's see what price did. So when it was morning, price mitigated that area. This was a very nice trade. And of course, we want to take quick pips around this area and leave the rest for possible swing. So this was a 64 pips target. And what happened? Price got to the target. Price got to the target. So price got to the target. And at the same time, of course, this was a London base. So, and liquidity was also engineered before that, and price is already ranging. So I just knew that we were to have an expansion soon. So I still had interest in this zone to further push price upward. So let's see what price did. And the reason is that we are already ranging, right? And at the same time, this was liquidity engineered before this zone, right? So let's see what price did. So I already have there in mind as well to actually buy price. I had there in mind to buy price and of course to target higher. So let's see what price did. Of course, price traded back to that area. Okay, so price traded back to that area, and of course, this was London mitigation. You can see when price mitigated there, this was around 945, which was a very good entry for me. So London mitigation, mitigating a London base, perfect. All right. So price was actually done. Ranging, and of course, I was now ready to take it further to my final target. So from here to my final target is about 596 pips. And mind you, the fact that I'm swinging doesn't mean I'm not taking partials along the line or doing intraday. So it was a very nice thing, or nice trade that EURJPY presented all through. And so price started moving. So let me just go to 1 hour so it can be fast. So price started moving. And the next time I wanted to be interested in EURJPY was when price will actually take out external liquidity, so I can now be ready for a sell. And kept moving. So kept moving, and until price got to final target. All right, so this was a swing from here, and from here. So immediately price got to final target. Of course, price has induced major liquidity, and I now need to watch out for sales. All right, I now need to watch out for sales. So let me now show you what price did around this area and how I got into a swing sell again. So it's just all about you knowing what price, like how price behave, the behavioral pattern of price. Okay, so price went up because this was a zone up here. So price actually mitigated that zone. And let's see what price did. That's what price did. So I started watching price to see what price wanted to do. And of course, price started giving me some very nice structures. Okay, so this was the high that was attained, right? When price got to that supply. So this was the last low, just before price had mitigated the supply. Then the fact that we broke this low simply means that we formed a lower low. We formed a lower low right here. All right, so I was still interested in price. So this was high. This was a new low formed. And I needed to see more price narrative as price already moving sideways. All right. Okay, so from here, what did I notice? I noticed that price formed a new high, right? And at the same time, price formed a new low. So price was already consistent with structure, forming lower highs and lower lows. And I spotted something that I normally spot. So I was not looking forward to actually taking trade because this was my new low. I mean, this was my new high that created a new low, or price could still even go lower. So I needed to spot out for zones around the premium area. And of course, I told you that Asian ranges are most times liquidity to be grabbed. So look at this Asian high right here. So it's a liquidity that most likely will be grabbed. So one of the zones that I want to be interested in. In fact, if you even look at the formations around here, you discover that we had this low that was taking out like a break of structure. Please, you need to pay attention to details, BOS. If you do not pay attention to details, you won't catch moves. So this is like a BOS, right? And of course, before price took out this demand, a supply was responsible, which was this supply right here. So we had a supply just before price took out this demand and traded downward to come and break this structural low. Okay. So, and of course, we had a base that mitigated that base, which is this. So this is nice supported base. And this base is just above the Asian high. So that was where I gave a limit. So that was where I wanted to sell. In fact, it was a limit that I even set. And it was just 15 pips stop loss. Yeah, it was just 15 pips. And I gave it in my signal group. In fact, around this area, a lot of them were shouting that price has gone far from our direction. Should we still hold the limit? Should we not hold the limits? That's it right there on your screen when I gave them the limits and we're anticipating a sell. So, and of course, my target with respect to that, if I come to my higher time frame, my target actually My target actually was a high one. I think on the 8-hour, I spotted a very nice demand. Let me just show you the demand I spotted on the 8-hour. All right, so on the 8-hour, I spotted this demand right here, because I just knew that price has taken external liquidity and we need to retrace very well. So this was going to be where I wanted to swing to. So price has taken external liquidity and I just needed to move. Okay, so I wanted to swing to this area. So once price gives me intent around this area, maybe I want to buy again, because we have taken this external liquidity. We need to retrace to form a higher low, then probably go and come and take out this high again, since we're already bullish. So that was the limit that I set. Like I told you, that's it on the screen there when I gave my mentees. Sorry, when I gave my signal subscribers. So this was very perfect. I was expecting price to sell here. So let's see what price did. So price even traded more down and it got to a point, price started moving up, right? Price started moving back up, and so it was a very fast move. In fact, it was a live session on that day. Price activated us in, and of course I still called it again for people that probably have not set their limits, and it was like magic to them. So I gave them a first TP. Our first take profit was this low right here. Our first take profit was this low, which was around 245 pips, right? And I gave them a second take profit. I gave them a second take profit around this area. I gave them a second take profit around this area, and price got to both of them. So we took profits. They took profit, but I secured partials, and I held this trade down. I held this trade. So it was a fast one, a very fast one. So I held this trade down. And okay, so let me now show you some of the things that I did here, because I was trying as much as possible. Fine, this is my demand that I wanted to buy from, but I was still watching out for price to see if price can probably want to continue the buy. So you can see my entries there on the screen, and you can see the move. Like I held the move down. Yeah, that's it on your screen, right? So I was trying to actually catch the buy back, because I know that I am bullish buyers for now. All right, so with respect to this reaction that I saw up here, though price didn't actually react from a meaningful zone, but just from my normal confluence that we had liquidity being built around this area after price gave us a good reaction from an expansion to the downside. All right, so I wanted to actually buy from here so that I can hedge my sell. Okay, so and of course let's see what price did. So price came close to that area, and price activated me in. All right, price activated me in. So I was looking forward to edging. All right, so you can see it there. I was looking forward to edging and push price to the upside. I don't want to go down to lower time frame of what I saw, but price activated, moved into profits, and price took me out at break even and went further down. So I think price was heading for my 8 hours demand. So and price got to a whopping final target of over 600 pips, and I was still holding this trade. I wanted to enter into the buy before I close my sell. So this was a possible demand to actually push price to the upside. Possible demand to push price to the upside. So, and this was an institutional move. Price took out liquidities. It was a fast sell to buy. So that is those were the banks there. Banks were present there. And since I know that this was a bank move, and that simply means that they are ready for proper or for possible swing trade. All right, so let me reduce this so that I can see all what I'm doing properly. So looking at this move that went to take out liquidity, I needed to spot out for a zone. So I needed to go to a more lower time frame. And I saw something very meaningful here. So this 3 minutes demand. right here, this rally, base rally. So I was hoping for price to probably mitigate there. So let's see what price did. So price started playing out. Let me go to faster time frame. So mind you, I already have this zone and I was waiting for what price would do. This was already Asian range. I was already sleeping when price mitigated this area. So let's see what price did. So it was now the next morning, and price engineer liquidity before my zone, very important. Price engineer liquidity before my zone, and we're ready to actually take a trade that morning. Okay, we're ready to take a trade that morning around that area. So once price gets there and give us some possible, intent or move, then we want to actually buy. So let's see. All right, so price had to even, okay, I don't think price got there that day. So let's watch, let's see what price did. I was very much anticipating that area. All right, so price got to that zone on the third day. This was 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. On the third day, touched the 3 minutes base, which I've highlighted there. Of course, I'm now looking for possible buy opportunity. All right, but of course, price got there in the night, which was around 3:45. So I needed to be awake during London for London mitigation, for London volume. Okay, so let's see what price did during London. All right, so we had this during London. That was that morning. Let me go down to a more lower time frame. And price gave a very nice intent here. All right, you can see what price did. Price actually accumulated. Price accumulated, so that means I was ready for an expansion. Price accumulated, and price actually broke structure. Price broke structure. All right, so we can see that price accumulated, and what happened that we had a break of structure here. So we entered price around here. Sorry. We entered price around here. So in as much as I said that Asian low is liquidity, at the same time I said structure is actually king. So we entered price around here, and I was actually ready to string it. And the price after little movements, or after little consolidation, price gave a proper intent. And of course, that was where price took up from. That was a proper mitigation. All right, and price started moving up. Price started moving up. That was very nice. Just a 15 pips stop loss trade. And of course, that was my next impulsive move. So let me go to my 15 minutes so you guys can see it properly. Right? So I was in the sell here, which had done over 600 pips. Then I was now in this buy. You can see that on my screen. So definitely, because of higher time frame, I knew that I was actually bullish. And where was I heading for? Definitely heading for sorry, this external liquidity here. I need to reduce this. So I was definitely heading for this external liquidity here, of which I think there is actually a higher zone, a refined higher zone that I was looking out for. Yeah, which was up here. So that was the daily supply I was looking out for. So and my swing buy started. So I was hoping to come and grab this external liquidity right here. I was hoping to come and grab this external liquidity. All right. So I was in buy, I was in sell, and market could do whatever market wants. And then price started moving. Price started moving. So of course, you want to actually take note of structure too for possible trades later. It's high, low, and price started moving up. right? Price started moving up, of which this is going to be like a very good zone to probably want to buy price once price gives you any reasonable entry, right? So let's see what price did. And then we had price started coming down. So this was a very nice zone. So it was a very nice zone. Mind you, I was targeting this external liquidity up here. All right. So let's see what price did. Price started moving up. So we had this very nice move here. I don't want to explain this move, but this was actually a very nice entry. I didn't enter this trade, but it was an opportunity I saw, right? After price induced this liquidity. So we can see that I held the buys, the sell, and actually the buys to a very large extent. Are taking partials on the sell, major partials, and the buy took over to come and take out the sell. So this was actually a very nice supply around here. Let me just show you this trade, but I actually didn't take it. I didn't take this trade. So this was the supply. This was the supply just above the high where the sell started from, our swing sell that we cut over 600 pips. And looking at the buys, we have actually cut over 595 pips from the buys. So let me just show you this trade. It was a very nice trade, still centered around things that I've told you. So we had the supply, price traded into the supply, coming down to our lower time frame, and just get to 15 minutes. Right, so price traded into the supply, right? Price traded into the supply in an uptrend. Of course, the supply, so we're expecting price to sell. So look how price did. We had high, low. So price got into the supply, created a high. What happened? Price gave intent to the downside. And of course, we had Asian low and Asian high. So since that is a supply, we're actually ready to sell. And I told you that Asian high and low are most times liquidity. So I had an area of interest just above. So that means this Asian high was validating the zone above. And this was a very clean entry. But actually, I didn't take EURJPY because EURJPY gave us a very nice formation as Euro USD. So I think I took Euro USD instead. And I'm going to do that in another video later. So this would have been a very nice entry, but I actually didn't take this trade. So no screenshot for that. All right. So let me go back to my 1 hour so that we can have a very quick fall. All right. So I had here as my possible zone. Then at the same time, I had here as a zone as well. I had these two lows as a possible zone to continue the buy, because these are very nice structural points. These are very nice structural points. We had high, low, right, higher high. So I needed price to trade into any of these zones, maybe this or this, for us to now continue the next wave, or for us to now continue the next move. So the external liquidity that we had as target. So this was our external liquidity. Let me put the dollar sign there. There's money resting here, right? Serious money resting here. So that's my final target. So I wasn't in this sell, but I knew that we were going higher. So let's see what price did and see where we possibly entered again. So came close to this area, and what happened? Price came, mitigated our base. Price came, mitigated this base, and let's see if there was a trade. There was a trade scenario there. So price mitigated this, and so of course we go to a lower time frame to see what will actually happen. All right. So let's see what price did. So I think this was like a break of structure for price. But we need price to actually return back to the extreme for possible trade scenario. Let me go back to 15 minutes. I want price to be fast. All right, so let's see what happened. All right, so price was still trying to narrate a scenario for us, so we just have to be patient. And price eventually came into that zone. Price eventually came into that zone. Let me go down to my lower time frame to see exactly what price did. All right. Let's see exactly what price did. So this was actually New York. And I think we had a trade entry around here. We had a trade entry around here. This was the order block. There was a trade signal around here, I guess. So this was like London mitigation. And that was a possible trade entry right there. You can see price actually has given intent here. And of course, we want to continue the swing. Okay, so let's see what price did. So, and eventually, price started buying. All right, price started buying. And of course, this would have actually been a very good re-entry. And I guess the re-entry was also given. So this was the entry of price. Price just gave us some little touch there and expanded to the upside. And of course, price coming to take out this high is actually a break of structure, right? So this was the last base. So price came back there for mitigation. And of course, that was a re-entry for people that missed the first buy. So that was a possible re-entry. And of course, we were riding to the same destination. Okay, riding to the same destination. And price, I think price actually continued from there. Let me go to 15 minutes. So that was a very good cash for price. And at the same time, I told you that we were heading for this external liquidity right here. So you can see I had entry from this first zone and of course entry from the second zone, which you can see right there on your screen. And all right, so that was the entry right there on your screen. Both entries right there on your screen. And we had price kept going. Of course, remember it was a swing. Price kept going. I think I need to get to 1 hour. Sorry, this was the high I was targeting, external liquidity. All right, and of course there is actually a base above it right there, and price kept going. All right, this was even a very nice entry again, although I didn't enter this trade. I think I was off chart at that. There was a news, I don't know if it was FOMC or CPI. I think it was CPI. The price fell to come and actually activate this base, right? And the price moved, but I was still in my entry, my first buy, my swing buy, and the second buy. So I was heading for the external liquidity up there. And you can see what price did. Price kept going, and eventually price took out the external liquidity, and price is somewhere around the base or the daily base where I intend to sell. So I just need to wait for price to play out to give me a possible sell scenario. All right, I think this is the current position of price. Yeah, this is the current position of price. So, and you can see my entries, both entries are still intact. So let me see this first entry. This first entry is around 862 pips. And my second swing buy My second swing buy is around 564 pips. So, and this is the current position of price. So guys, I want to believe that you guys have learned a lot from the EURJPY breakdown, and I want to believe it was very, very educational. And just take out time to probably rewatch the video again and get acquainted to how price move, and take note of those key points I gave you from the start of this video. Alright guys, so we have come to the end of today's analysis of today's breakdown on EURJPY, on how we secured these amazing pips, these swings, and you saw every single analysis that led to the entries of this trade. And if this is your first time here, ensure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment on this video, share the video, turn on your notifications so that you can always get videos first time when we release them. And I want to wish you all a happy trading life. Keep trading, keep pushing, and eventually it will all make sense. I remain Mr. Pick FX. I love you, and bye-bye.